So hello, welcome to another episode of this marketing series video. And today, it's been quite long since we have posted the last video due to a lot of things going on at my end. And I thought let's do something very interesting and could also adds value to marketers who are in the stage of going to the next step. Like whether you are in a performance marketing or SEO or email marketing, you are trying to add some more value to what you are doing and uncover something new that goes beyond the usual daily grind that you are doing. And that's where this interesting topic comes into my mind. It's not something that's very new, or it's not something that is groundbreaking or something, but it could definitely give you that inflection point that you can use to purposefully purposefully do some research on things that you have never even paid attention to so far. And that gets me to something interesting, which is called dark funnel, right? So you have heard of dark web, but what's dark funnel, right? So dark funnel, to put it very simple, it tracks everything that the traditional marketing metrics misses, right? In traditional marketing mix sorry the traditional marketing metrics, we used to talk about website visits, clicks, open rates, video views, etc. But in dark funnel, we are looking at some metrics which are often pretty hard or very difficult or even impossible to measure. For instance, let's take an example of this tip of the iceberg model. As you can see on my screen, we have the iceberg floating upon the water, and there are two things we are seeing it here, right? One that we usually see the above the surface of the water, which is the iceberg that we are seeing. You can imagine those things as like visible metrics, as like ad clicks, website visits, email opens. And below the water level, you can see the invisible metrics, which we call as part of what makes dark funnel. It could be an offline word of mouth. It could be someone mentioning the brand on a private forum like a Slack channel. It could even be a email forwarded by an influential person to a set of cohorts or set of people that is in his networks, who takes his suggestions very seriously. And that are some of the examples of dark funnel. Now why now we have had a pretty much good understanding of what is dark funnel. Let's take a look at why this dark funnel matters, right? So oftentimes you will get an incomplete picture of ROI, and this dark funnel will help you a valuable tool to get a clarity on that incomplete picture of ROI. You will be able to know, if suppose you are digging deeper into those dark funnels things and trying to find which are all the channels that adds value, that can we can strongly attribute to a business outcome, like for instance a sales increase. Then you will be able to get a good understanding of the ROI, and you could certainly make a better budget decisions. Okay. And then deeper customer understanding. You know like what what are all the things that your customers are highly interested in, who are the people that can influence them, what are all the moments that creates the trigger for those customers to act upon your brand. So these kind of things are, can be found using the dot funnel. I'm just putting out an example, simple graph. You can see there is a sudden spike in terms of website visit increase, and you can see like this is the peak point where the website visits have reached its peak. And if you see that, it also resulted in 15% sales increase. Now, if you see on this point, which we call it as the trigger point, someone could have mentioned your brand in a company-wide Slack conversation. It could be a very big company, like 10,000 people are working there, and some leaders in that company has posted or given a mention or recommendation or shout out your brand in there, which could never be tracked by a traditional metrics, right? Who would be able to know all these things? And this is why taking dark funnel is very very important to really understand what's going beneath the surface of your marketing, of your in your market. Okay. So how can you analyze a dark funnel? uh, so there are multiple things that you can do um, for instance, I will start pointing out to you with some of the examples. Okay, one of the very important, one of the very helpful way that you can find this dark funnel is to get a direct feedback from your customers, and for that you need to align your sales team. You can ask your customers like how they really found you. You can use surveys, you can use quick questionnaires, or directly, directly ask them in your sales calls. You have to equip, you have to train your sales teams to make this happen. This is by far the simplest way to surface hidden references, uh, social groups, or influencer mentions that cannot always be tracked online. And this is why getting that direct feedback is highly critical to unearth or uncover these dark funnel metrics. The second thing is that listen to where people talk. Social listening. You can use social listening tools like Brand 24, Brand Watch, or Talk Walkers. So, what you can do from this tool is that you can set up a consent active monitoring of public forums, LinkedIn groups, or X threads, or Instagram, or any open platform where your industry is being discussed. Of course, you cannot able to track the private conversations going on, but you will still see a trend that reflects what's happening behind those closed doors. And you can also track some communities beyond the social medias, like some communities that are highly relevant to your customers or your audiences, where it could also be a members only community or a public community. If possible, join them. Ask someone who is a member to report relevant chatters, or you can set up your own customized way of getting notification from there. Then team up with sales, as I already mentioned. Teaming up with sales is very important. Sales team often hear from customers. They are the first people to hear from customers that, hey, I hear you about your friend, about your brand from a friend of mine. He's working there, and or he goes at this time, at this particular moment or a particular day. He went to this gathering, and then that's where he got to know about your brand. Or I read a thread on Reddit. Have a process to capture all of this, right? And make sure that you are using these fields in your CRM, so that whoever is the front facing, whoever is in the front line of customer interactions, be able to update that data for you. You can create a field like how they really found us, or unofficial referral sources. And you have to create an SOP for whoever is updating that data, to make it as contextual as possible. It could not always be 100% accurate, but it's definitely better than ignoring it completely. And I assure you that it will act as a very good starting point for the marketing teams, further researchers. And it will take like 3 or 4 levels of checks to only to find where they came from, and then you can possibly scale that up pretty quickly. So having this kind of fields in the CRM and making it as a process is very important to uncover those things, right? And refine your market attribution models as well. Go multi-touch. Single touch attribution often misses steps. um, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'm talking about attribution models like marketing mix modeling, which takes into account multi-touch attribution. Whereas if in the last click attribution, if you take that is a single touch attribution and often misses the steps. But multi-touch approach can quickly help to pick up the smaller touch points, which could explode into a bigger and more dependable touch points for you in the future, if you are able to put efforts into it, right? And for instance, let's take, like, there is in that community there are around 50,000 members, which are very particular interest towards your product. And what happens if you are finding a way to create partnership with the community owner, and you run a series of nurturing sequence on that community? Imagine the power that they can do for your brand. And instead of just shooting in blind, you could have well above 80 or 70 percentage of the members in that community could be your future buyers.
So it helps you to strategically plan your marketing campaigns effectively. Then you can always blend in the different data sources like web analytics, CRM inputs, and feedbacks from surveys to get a fuller picture. And finally, make the finding actionable, right? Adjust your content strategy. If people keep mentioning they found you through a specific platform or a forum or a community or a private group, um, create I mean allocate separate resources and bandwidth for that particular community, and focus on creating more content that resonates with that crowd further, that reinforces the expectations of that crowd, and optimize your spending for that. If the same hidden channels keep popping up, consider allocating a separate budget, even if it is a sponsorship or organic presence in those areas. Then align the marketing and sales, like that can do wonders. Keep your teams in sync, share notes regularly so both sides stay aware of new hidden pathways. Yeah, so that's about the doc funnel. I hope it would have been useful for you, and if you have any questions, put it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.